All right, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight preview. So we're going to Las Vegas, Nevada for UFC Fight Night, Smith versus Rakic. We're going to the main card in the flyweight division. 14th ranked flyweight Ji Yeon, Fire Fist Kim, welcoming in number 14th ranked strawweight Alexa Grasso, welcoming Grasso to the flyweight division. Now this is a fight I've been looking forward to, and it's gotten pushed back like twice. It was originally supposed to go down in like March. COVID happened. Then it was supposed to go down in June, and then either Grasso or Kim was injured. I think that's why. It might have been also because of travel restrictions. Can't remember the specifics of being pushed back a second time. So it went from March to June. It's finally happening this Saturday at the end of August. So before we break these two fighters down, let's take a look at the stats here. Kim coming in with a record of 9-2. Grasso coming in 11-3. Grasso, well, actually they're both about the same experience level. Kim is actually 9-2-2, has a couple of draws in there. Kim coming off a win over Nadia Kassem 10 months ago, preceded by a unanimous decision loss to Antonina Shevchenko a year and 8 months ago. Mexican Grasso coming in off of a loss via majority decision to Carla Esparza, a very close fight 11 months ago, preceded by a decision win over Karolina Kowalkiewicz a year and 2 months ago, where she just completely outclassed Kowalkiewicz. Let's see, Kim is the elder fighter, 30 years to Grasso's 27 years. Kim's going to be slightly taller, 5 feet 7 inches, 170 centimeters tall, to Grasso's 5 feet 5 inches, 165 centimeters in height. And Kim is going to have a sizable reach advantage, 72 inches, 183 centimeters, to Grasso's 66 inches, 168 centimeters. Kim actually has, I believe, the longest reach in the UFC women's flyweight division. Very long arms. So let's talk about Ji Yeon Kim. So she loves to get into the pocket and exchange. And she lands very accurate punches, and she likes to throw and land the power right. Now, Kim, unfortunately, lacks diversity in her arsenal. She's kind of predictable. It's always either a 1-2 or a 2-1-2. She's either jab left, right, or right, jab left, right again. Very predictable. And unfortunately, along with that predictability, she has some low output. Now, she makes up for that low output with some good power. I mean, she has the nickname Fire Fist for a reason. She only has one finish in the UFC, but if you look at her other wins in the UFC, and even the loss to Lucia Pudilova, those ladies all went home with busted up faces. I mean, Melinda Fabian, her face was just absolutely busted up. Her eye was almost swollen shut. Justine Kish, her nose was all bloodied up. So Kim has some nice power. She definitely earned the nickname Fire Fist. One thing that Daniel Cormier picked up on Kim and mentioned when she was fighting Nadia Kassem is that Kim has a nice poker face. Like, she never gives away her emotions in the fight. She always just has the same look on her face, and that can be, a good asset when you're fighting someone, because let's say if her opponent is up on Kim and she's just hitting away and chipping away at Kim, but Kim just keeps going and doesn't show any sign of weariness on her face, that's the kind of thing that can demoralize an opponent. So that poker face is a good asset to have. Now, one thing about Kim is that she has had problems with making weight at flyweight in the past. She actually missed weight against Antonina Shevchenko. I think she made weight against Kassem, though. So weight will be a bit of a question. I did see an interview with her, though, where she said that she has started, reducing her weight farther out from the fight so that the final cut won't be as harsh. Now, like I said, Kim is lacking in speed, along with the output and everything, you know, her speed is lacking a little bit as well. But again, she can go back to it with the power. Now, Kim believes that her size and physical attributes are going to help dictate this fight. I could definitely see that happening if she is to draw Alexa Grasso into the pocket and into a firefight, or if they can go into the clinch, she can definitely use her size and physical attributes there. Or on the ground as well, if she is able to take Grasso down. Now, if it goes to the ground, Kim is a BJJ purple belt, so she's no slouch on the ground. Like, obviously not black belt level. She's not, you know, going to go for like crazy submissions or anything. But she's more than good enough to handle her own on the ground against most opponents. So that's Ji Yeon, Fire Fist Kim. So let's take a look at Alexa Grasso. So Grasso, when you think of Alexa Grasso, you think nice, clean, technical boxing. She basically grew up in a boxing gym and grew up in martial arts. Her uncle is her chief trainer along with her own dad. Her uncle, I believe, was a professional boxer at one time. His name's Francisco Grasso. So she grew up boxing and it shows in her technique. She also has good speed and throws her strikes very fast. Now, unlike Kim, Grasso tends to mix up her strikes. She's always throwing in combos, throws a multitude of strikes within those combinations, and she mixes them up as well. She might pop out 3 jabs followed by a left followed by a right hook. She might throw a jab followed by a left followed by a couple more jabs and then throw a low kick off of it. So Grasso is always mixing up her strikes, and she throws them fast, like pow, 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 pow. I can't snap very good, but it's just like fast. That fast. I mean, she's very fast, and she's mixing them up too, which can keep an opponent off of their guard. Grasso also possesses good footwork and defense. She's always keeping her hands up, which in MMA, you just see so many fighters who leave their hands down, but Grasso always keeps her hands up. She's always moving, always working the feet, and always bobbing and weaving with her head. Now, the head movement isn't always the greatest, but she makes up for it by keeping her hands up and keeping her feet moving. Now, Grasso has some decent kicks, but one complaint I have about her is that she has bad timing with them. Like, she'll throw them out there, and they won't be set up properly, or they'll just be a naked kick, and that has allowed opponents to take her down in the past. Now, Grasso does her best work at range. She likes to stay on her feet, likes to stay at the edge of boxing range, so that she can mix her kicks in as well. So she's usually at the edge of boxing range, but she's not afraid to fight in the pocket. It's just that she does her best work at range, so that's where she usually stays. But when she gets in the pocket, she's just as fast there as well. Now, Grasso has shown some questionable takedown defense in the past. However, a caveat with that is that most of the fighters that have taken her down in the UFC are among the best wrestlers in the UFC, or very strong wrestlers in the UFC. Carla Esparza, Tatiana Suarez, Randa Marcos took her down a few times off of kicks. So she's not getting taken down by slouches. So, yeah, it's kind of questionable takedown defense, but when you consider who she's up against, it's not as if she's getting taken down by slouches either. Now, one complaint that a lot of people have about Alexa Grasso, and I definitely hear it, and I can't disagree with it completely, is that Grasso lacks killer instinct. Sometimes she gets into a habit where she'll turn down the pace when she should be pouring it out on. For example, her first fight, she had Heather Jo Clark hurt in the first round and rocked. And she started to pour it on, and then she stepped back and turned it back off. Now, she might have just been, conserving energy, conserving her cardio, because that fight was in Mexico City, but she's done it in other fights as well. When she really could have just turned it on, she'll reset and take it back a pace. Now, that could be a cardio thing. Maybe she wants to conserve her energy, but it's definitely a lack of killer instinct as well. One question you got to wonder, though, about with Alexa Grasso. She's moving up in weight. Will her speed suffer as a result? I kind of tend to think that it won't. I think she's just that fast that, moving up in weight isn't going to affect her speed too much. It definitely shouldn't affect her cardio. Now, the other question to piggyback off of that is, will she gain in power? I don't think her power is going to gain that much either. She was never a super strong finisher with her striking. I think she only had one finish in Invicta. Don't think she has any finishes in the UFC. So I don't see her gaining in power all of a sudden just because of the move up in weight class. All right, so that's Alexa Grasso. Now let's talk about how these two compare against each other. So, doing some research on this before the fight, Kim has said that she has been training at multiple gyms, dealing with, the whole COVID situation, everything that way, because they've been going in and out of lockdown in Korea. So, in the past, she's trained a lot at the Mind Over Body, the MOB training center. But she said that for this fight, she's training doing a lot of work at different gyms. So that's kind of a good thing because you get a variety of training and you get to train with a variety of partners. But on the downside, you don't have a steady coach watching over you. So I'm curious to see, who will be her cornermen, where they're from, how much they've worked with her. Grasso, on the other hand, she's always at Lobo Gym, Samurai FC, down there in Guadalajara. So that's her family gym. It's a good, steady training environment. But with that comes some downsides of its own too, because she's not getting a variety of training. She's always training with the same people, the same coaches all the time. Sometimes fighters stagnate with that. So while that has its upsides, it also has its downsides as well. Now, one of the things that makes this fight so exciting and why I'm so highly anticipating this fight, besides the fact that they're two of my favorites in the UFC, both fighters are primarily boxers. Both mostly focus on throwing punches with a few kicks and other things mixed in. Now, Grasso comes in, and if you're a boxing fanatic and my definitions are off here, please let me know in the comments. But I think I did a pretty good job with this. Grasso comes in with a pure boxing style. She stays at range. She throws a lot of volume with a lot of good combinations. But she's not really getting in there to mix it up and throw the power shots. So more of a pure boxer style. Whereas Kim, on the other hand, is more of a boxer puncher. She's technical. She's accurate, but she sits down on her punches more. She's not going to be on the move as much because she's looking to throw harder strikes. Now, Kim is also a bit of a pressure fighter. When she's able to pressure a fighter, she will. She's not always just content to stand there and wait for a fighter to enter the pocket with her. Sometimes she'll hunt them down. She'll apply the pressure and force that fight on her opponent. Now, for Grasso, she's going to need to stay on her bicycle against Kim. She's going to want to throw plenty of volume and keep moving. Mix up her striking to keep Kim on her guard and to keep Kim, off of her game. Kim, on the other hand, Grasso is going to want to avoid getting into those firefights with Kim because Kim has that power and she's going to bust up her face. Now, Kim, on the other hand, she's going to want to time her strikes. And she's a good counter puncher too. So she's going to want to time her strikes. She's going to wait for Grasso to come in, throw those combos, and time her own counters. She's going to want to watch for openings. And if she hurts Grasso, she's going to need to pour it on as soon as she smells blood. She's also going to want to not be afraid to pressure Grasso. Now, don't chase her around everywhere, but don't be afraid to put Grasso on her back foot. Now, this fight's not likely to go to the ground, but if it does, I favor Kim. She has a higher level BJJ, purple belt to blue belt. She's more active in going to the ground against opponents based on her past fights. Plus, she's going to have the size. She's a former bantamweight. She's going to have the strength. And all of those factors are going to favor her on the ground. So, prediction time. Who do I think is going to win this? So, based on all the factors I went over, I really thought about this. And I got to go with the favorite here, Alexa Grasso. And I think she's going to win by decision. Grasso's speed, spatial control, and a volume should be allow her to outpoint Kim. However, Kim is a live dog in this fight. And her power is not to be underestimated. Again, go look at Justine Kish. Go look at Melinda Fabian. Go look at Lucia Pudilova. Look at the post-fight pictures after they fought Kim. Their faces were messed up. Kim is not afraid to go for the finish, whereas Grasso is. So Kim is not to be underestimated. But still, the prediction is going to be Grasso by decision, not finish, because she's just not a finisher. Alright, so those are my thoughts on this fight. Like I said, these are two of my favorite fighters in the UFC. I like what I see from them for different reasons. You know, I like to see that technical striking from Grasso. I like to see that fast movement. However, I like to see someone whose boxing, like in Kim's, is basic, but she makes it work. And I also like the fact that she throws with some legit power in her hands. So I'm very excited for both of these fighters. I've been following their careers for a long time, and finally this fight's happening after 2 delays. So very excited about this fight, very much looking forward to it. Let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comments down below. Now, of course, if you like the video, please give it a like and share it as well, and pass the word around. And hey, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.